That's the interesting world I live in.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
And you get to get involved in the court, like you described with Kwame Kilpatrick case. You're called in to testify often, correct?
I'm usually the expert. If there's some kind of, I do a lot of loss profit calculations and stuff like that. It's an interesting dynamic. As you know, most cases settle out of court.
Right. Trial is rare.
Is rare based on all of the complaints that are filed in any, certainly in the Tri-County area,
Sure, yeah.
that they may not see the light of day from a courtroom proceeding. But as you are well, there's a lot of work that goes internally for that particular case.
Yeah, to get there, to get to the edge of trial where you either do or don't go. But
right, and
yeah,
both sides have their experts, and I represent both plaintiffs and defendants, and everybody has a story to tell, and so you attempt to piece the story together as best you can. And again, I come from a quantitative point of view.
Yeah, what's your background? How do you come to this?
Well, my being a CPA, and I'm a certified fraud examiner and certified in financial forensics, it's called. But really, I won't say difficulty is to have a jury, especially talking accounting, to make it very basic and understand the dynamics here.
Right, because some of this stuff is pretty sophisticated, right?
Yes.
And you need them to understand it if they're going to make a ruling either in a civil case or convict in a criminal case.
Correct, and that's really the key is to look at that case, the information that you have, opine to that particular data that you bring to the table, and in a sense try to drill it down to specifics, because again, that's why they call me in, or for the financial end of it, to try to break it down as far as simple as I can. And then but as I say, most of the work is done outside of the physical courtroom, but I do enjoy getting up there on the stand and showing or trying to opine as to where I believe, whether it's a quantitative number or whatever, here's how I came up with the number, and that type of thing.
And I imagine that's tough, because oftentimes you'd be dealing with piles and piles of returns. Let's say it's something that had been going on for a number of years, so you've got a lot of data that you need to condense or make understandable in bite-sized fragments for a jury to understand it, and that's not always easy.
No, it isn't. I think with the help of the attorney, you either put on a PowerPoint presentation or use the boards, because a visual thing obviously is a lot better to
Very
visually
helpful, sure,
to get it. And if you can relate to the jury, I had a case when talking about lost wages and stuff, and the key was, we get that Social Security piece of paper every year that says how much Social Security wages you were.
Yeah.
And I use that as an example on this particular case, and you could tell that the jury kind of shook their head and said, I get one of those every year.
Yeah.
So now I get it. Now I get where you're going, Dave.
Yeah.
And so that certainly helped the case in determining this loss of income.
Right, so, and I think that is, if you can get the people on the jury to say, I relate to that, or that rings true in my life. Right. Now it's half the battle. Right,
because they're a jury of the peers, and they attempt to understand and try to do the best that they can. But if you can find something that they shake their head and go, yes, now, I get it.
Okay,
I get it.
Those eureka moments.
Yeah, that you try to find.
You try. You don't always get it.
No. But or you bring in a little bit of doubt here on the opposing counsel,
right?
And they decide on that, based on what your comments were.
What's I know some of the things you do an audit. What's an audit, and how does that compare to like a fraud exam?
Well, we brought up a slide today. I don't know if it'll be up on the screen, the difference between an audit and what I do as far as fraud examinations. And again, where an audit would be a reoccurring thing, mine is really a one
snapshot,
Yeah, I come in, do my work, and get out. It's not a reoccurring.
Yeah, you're
type
not
of
there
thing.
to continue to advise.
Right.
Right.
The relationship usually I have with going in, let's say I represent the bank and go into a company, is more adversarial. I mean, I'm kind of the bad guy. You know,
come in and they're like, oh
Yeah,
boy, every
yeah.
scurries.
Yeah, everybody is afraid.
They don't ask you to lunch.
No, they sometimes make me wait in the waiting room for quite a long period of time before they want to see me.
There's no rush.
Yeah, you know, sometimes companies just don't want to see me show up knocking at their door.
Right.
So
Because you might have bad news about their.
yeah, I'm brought in through
work.
court order, you know,
Yeah.
type of deal. So
Yeah.
that is a different way. You know, audits use different techniques. They may just look at the books and records. I do interviewing process. I do research, outside research.
So
trying to
not
figure
just numbers, like you said, you're going to talk to the people, the players involved.
Right. And that's critical to, I don't know if they're somehow put at ease with people that you sit across. And as you say, most of them really do want to tell you the truth. I mean, if
Whatever it may be.
yeah,
right?
you show them the check that they, you know, it's made out to them, and they signed this check.
Yeah.
And so, could you tell me about it? You know, type of deal.
Yeah.
And so some come up with pretty clever ideas, and
Oh, I'm
others
sure.
are just, yep, that's me. And the famous
did
thing,
it.
yeah, and I planned on paying it back.
Well, of course. So it's not really stealing. It was borrowing
Yeah, I
for a
was just
period of time.
borrowing
It's like
it.
a loan, you know.
Yeah, I
Probably
just-
even pay it back with interest, you know, if it's fair.
yeah, if it's fair.
At today's rates, I think that's okay.
Well,
Maybe a 15-year.
Again, I don't put anybody into a corner. As I always
Right.
tease, there's only going to be one person doing all the judging.
Mm-hmm.
It's as with you. This is the line of work that I choose.
Yeah.
It's like that emergency doctor who doesn't care who the person is, the background or whatever. They have a
Just-
job to do.
Yep,
This
here's
is
my-
what. So it's almost to me. In most cases, the people come to know me. I'm not the enemy here.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought in to do my job, and so this is the job that I have to do. So, all in all, it's rewarding for me. Plus the fact that, as you say, sometimes it's kind of good. The deal is up.
Yeah.
Here
They can
it is.
Be done with it finally.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it-
that's a lot of guilt for some people. I'm sure many people you run across.
right. And then there's
And
others.
some are very good at it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't lose an ounce of sleep
And
or a
some
minute of
are
sleep.
truly criminals. I
Yeah.
mean, they've already had a felony background. You know, they've already been convicted felons and stuff. So this is just another scam or scheme
Yeah.
that they're trying to do. So
Another chapter.
another chapter, and I feel they got nerves of steel. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this is what they do for a living. you
Well,
know?
let's hope none of them are viewers, but if they are, you know, watch out for him.
Yeah, right.
Dave, thank you so much for coming on
Oh,
today.
my pleasure, David. Nice to
Thank
meet
you,
Yeah.
viewers. We'll see you again next week.